What did one oscillator say to the other? Nothing. They just wave.
Fuck me, that's cheap. Today we are getting into sound design. To follow along with me, you are going to need any capable synthesizer you are comfortable with. Or Serum by Xfer if you want to follow along with me, but sound-wise most capable synthesizers can do this. You can also win a free copy of my Serum bank with leads like this and more. Watch till the end to find out how you can win. I think it might be wise to cover some sound design basics before we start making leads. I'll add a timer for the people who know all of this already and only watch this video to make sure I'm doing it right. Most synths feature the same elements but showcase it differently. You have your generators. This is where the sound actually comes from. Most synths only have oscillators, which are versatile wave shape creating devices, or in simple terms, these make air wiggle. Some synths also feature noise generators, one-shot samplers or even a boiled down oscillator, which is best used for sub. Of the modifiers we have two basic categories. FX, this is identical to your mixer FX chain and really isn't too complex. And envelopes or LFOs. These thingamabobbies can turn any knob over time and are insanely powerful. Envelopes dictate whatever over the note length, think about a slow swell or a short pluck. And LFOs are almost like the oscillators from earlier, but the low frequency of these oscillators is too slow to be able to hear them on their own. So they get used to turn knobs over time in a repeating fashion, like vibrato. Not vibrator, that's a different video. Now that we are up to speed, let's make our first hardstyle lead. We are going to start with a fun basic one that gets used so much in hardstyle. If this is your first time making sounds, no worries, we be doing this step by step. In our first oscillator we are going to select a wave shape of choice. In Serum just click default, anal clock, basic shapes. If you turn this wavetable position knob you can find a couple of the basic shapes. I'm gonna go with this ramp down, aka saw wave. You can always change or play with any of the settings or shapes in this oscillator later, but for now this is fine. Now in our noise oscillator, or in other inferior synths, an LFO with noise profile, we are looking for some kind of noise. Preferably white. How am I going to say this? It's not that brown noise is lesser, but white just sounds, fuck, I can't say bright. Let's go with brown, but grossly overexposed noise. So white. I like to make some noise, but we can turn this one all the way down for some backstage work. The backstage, or matrix, if you are by the book, is where we can link anything to anything. It looks complicated now, but there are three things to understand and suddenly everything makes sense. It's like escaping the backstage. In source we are going to find our noise oscillator. In destination we are going to find our oscillator A, coarse pit. Now your noise profile controls the pitch of oscillator A, although it doesn't sound any different. And that is because the amount is set to 0. The moment you start to raise this, it sounds like a proper noise lead. Although not a usable one in any way, shape or form. Notice how the pitch of your lead just went up? That's bad. So to fix that we can just click this arrow and make it bipolar. If you are bipolar, I'm sorry to inform, this knob is not yet found in people. This is the basic principle of a noise lead. If you play with the amount, oscillator shape or noise profile, you'll get heaps of different sounds. Sound design is understanding basics and fucking around until it sounds cool. If you enjoy your freshly made sound, double click this box to add your name and click this file looking thing to save the preset. By default it opens up the most convenient place to save the preset, so don't move it around. Don't. If you want to find your preset, just click this preset window, go to user and it should be there. I'll show you how to make this and any other lead into a nice plucked sound for breaks or builds a bit later because I'm a tease. Our second lead is a lot more characteristic and like the discovery of most drugs, entirely accidental. Grab yourself a wave shape you enjoy in oscillator A. I went with a pulse, aka square wave, because I like Minecraft. Now let's grab envelope 3. 1 controls the volume, 2 I like to save for making the sound plucky, and 3 is just sitting there like no big deal. Envelopes control whatever over the note length, and you can tweak that behavior by playing with the attack, decay, sustain and release. And hold for whatever reason on Serum. Attack and release can be left untouched for now. Let's turn the sustain all the way down, and the decay can be turned almost all the way down. I just want a teeny hint of a punch. This is in the backstage sent to the chorus bit of oscillator A. Don't make this one bipolar, as we want the bottom line, or like the ending of the envelope, to be neutral. If this is bipolar, it will bring the pitch down too much. If you now open the chorus bit all the way, to like 1 or whatever, you notice our sound has a pitch attack. Let's enable the noise oscillator like in the previous lead, so no volume and the profile you prefer. Send this to the chorus pitch as well and open this one up to like 2 or whatever. This lead is not necessarily a noise lead, so don't make it one, unless you are creative. If you now made it one, you are not creative and you failed the test. Now let's give this lead its actual character. This wheel in the oscillator bit that says off is a fun one. If you make it say sync instead of off, it will squeeze the waveform and this sounds pretty neat. Let's hijack LFO1 and make it an envelope by clicking envelope. Well done. Set the in and out point to 0 and make a new point which you shall drag up and curve out like this. This we will link to the sync knob. If you hold this horseshoe thing, you can decrease the range. I find something like this works the best. And if you move the knob itself, you can set the endpoint a bit higher, giving this lead its neat character. Name it, save it, mash it in a stew. If making leads is making you hungry, you can find my Serum bank with Fruity Masters and his Sylenth1 bank in the description below. On my Serum bank, which has tons of leads, pads, basses and more, is a Black Friday deal going on. 50% off with code BLACK, which will be active for a month from now. That sounds misleading, the artist code BLACK doesn't have anything to do with this, but don't miss out on this fun deal. Our final lead is going to be the emotional top lead, and this one relies on a bit of backstage matrix kung fu, which is in general a cool trick to apply on your leads. Go to oscillator A or B, it never mattered which one you went with, and find yourself a fun wave shape you enjoy. I went with Basic Mini, and both their first and third waveform work very well in my opinion. Make this a noise lead again. This is why I did the noise lead first. If you skipped in this video and have no clue what I'm talking about, go to the first lead timestamp. The explanation is right there, you impatient fuck. Now that this is set up, let's go to LFO1. Yeah, no, I'm not explaining the noise lead again. Click on this folder, Basic, Sign. We are making a vibrato that only comes up in the longer notes. Set the rate to something you like. I went with Sweet 16. For LFO2, we're setting the mode to envelope. Bring the first and last point all the way up. Make a new point and drag this one to the left lower corner and make it ramp up slowly with a rate of 1/4. Thanks Stein for these settings. Now in the backstage we are doing some matrix level shit. Source LFO1 to destination oscillator A, fine. With amount all the way up and set to bipolar. Now find LFO2 in the aux source. This way you will have vibrato but the amount is controlled by your aux source. If you press a note long enough, it will start to wiggle. And there is your emotional top lead. To make all of these compatible with a plucky build-up, go to envelope 2, bring the sustain down a bit and make it ease in like this. The sharper the curve, the pluckier the sound. Sustain is the value on which to hold whatever linked knob whenever a note is pressed for a while. Now drag this to the cutoff wheel in the filter box. Enable the filter box, make sure to enable all sound producing units in this, play with the range with the blue horseshoe thing, and now you can automate the cutoff wheel for turning your full lead into a neat plug. 100% open is full lead, and the lower you drag it, the more it plugs off. If you found this video helpful or you want to correct me, the comments are the right place to share your thoughts. Any video ideas as well as questions are of course more than welcome there as well. The best video suggestion gets my Serum bank for free. I'll pick the winner a week from now. Sounddesign takes trial, error and fine-tuning. If you followed along with this video and your leads didn't sound the same, don't be alarmed. That happens. A tiny change can make a huge difference down the line. Just play with it more or try again. All of the techniques you learned today are directly compatible with each other, and mixing it up is where great sounds are born. I hope this helped with getting you started. It was a true pleasure to be your host once again. Until we meet again.